I love mounts. You love mounts. Who doesn't love mounts? Let's talk about all the new mounts coming in 11.0.7 and how you can get them. Here, nice summary of all this from Dalaran.
Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal, and the recent Warcraft Direct has given us a ton of new information about some of the upcoming content for the War Within expansion, one of them being a release date, a proper one, for the patch 11.07, which is arriving quite soon,
yes,
with the patch 11.1 following rather shortly after. With the patch 11.07, it gives us another opportunity to catch up our characters and get prepped for the Season 2 content of the War Within expansion, but also it gives us more chances to expand our mount collections with a variety of new achievement mounts, as well as vendor mounts with the Timewalking refresher, plus also a holiday refresher looming right over the horizon. Over the last few weeks, I've been able to closely take a look at everything new coming out in 11.07, and I wanted to do a catalog of every single new mount that you'll be able to obtain once 11.07 launches. And some of those mounts you can actually start working on right now, whether it is start earning some of the achievements required for these mounts, or even collecting the currency required in order to be able to purchase these mounts directly. And that's exactly what I want to do for today's video, is highlight all of the different mounts that you might be able to obtain with the launch of 11.07 real soon. As always, if you want to see more guides like these for the War Within expansion or potentially future updates of War Within, be sure to follow the channel and subscribe. But otherwise, let's dive right in.
You know what's great about all these mounts before he gets into this? I'll probably get some of these mounts and still not have Invincible. Just is what it is.
So the first array of mounts that I wanted to go over is some of the easy ones that you can obtain immediately as long as you do some prep work right now in 11.05, and that's going to be a new array of Timewalking mounts. And there's going to be 4 new additions, one for each of the expansions that haven't gotten a refresher just yet, with the first one being the Cataclysm Mount vendor of Broodling of Sinestra, a Void Dragon that will set you back 5,000 Time Warp badges. The next is going to be the Copper Main Colleen, which is the Miss Pandaria Timewalking vendor mount that's also going to set you 5,000 badges.
This one's nice, and not a lot of people have these, God, what are these guys called? The Mogu, right? Not a lot of people have the Mogu mounts. This is a really cool looking one. This is one worth getting.
The next will be the Nightfall Skyreaver, a Warlords of Draenor centric mount.
Also
going to cost you 5,000 from one of the Ashran vendors, where you have a vendor for Alliance as well as.
I have the variant of this that's like undead from what's it called? Shadowlands. God, I just said Shadowlands. Hurts my tongue.
Super faction oriented. However, for Legion, you're getting the Urzul, a Flesh Ripper, which is a mount with a unique model that we actually haven't seen a lot of in ever. There's only a handful of mounts that really have this type of a model. The only one that's available from Argus,
the one you get from Mythic Argus
difficulty. So you'll be able to get your own version of the Argus mount, though with a bit of a red skin variation from the Timewalking vendor. Now, every single one of these mounts will cost you 5,000 Time Warp badges, which is a great bit number of badges, but it's actually something you can start prepping right now in 11.05 during the anniversary update, because this is the best time for you to start collecting badges, farm up all these Time Warp badges to get yourself prepared for all this render refreshes, as all of the events around the main Caverns of Time grounds area will offer you badges for completing all of the weekly quests. Plus, the weekly Timewalking dungeon quests, which change depending on which Timewalking week it is, right now being either Classic or TBC or Wrath or any of the following weeks that will be available over the next few weeks. Every single one of those also rewards you a big bulk of Time Warp badges for every one of your characters.
This is probably the best time ever to collect Time Warp badges. So if you're really into this stuff, all the vendors are getting refreshes beyond mounts. They're all getting new gear from their respective expansions. So if you really want to get all that stuff, now is the time to collect those Time Warp badges for sure.
It's definitely worth doing if you have a handful of alts. Plus, also during certain weeks, you have the Timewalking raid quests for expansions such as Wrath of the Lich King, Burning Crusades, and Cataclysm. And for defeating the final boss of that raid, in order to be able to complete that quest, that also gives you a pretty big boost to the Time Warp badges. Plus, you can also get them and farm them up by just doing Timewalking dungeons, as you get 5 per Timewalking boss defeated in a Timewalking dungeon, 10 from the final boss of the encounter, and 10 just as a completionist bonus. So it allows you to farm up all of these badges. And if you've already gotten all of your 20th anniversary celebration items, but you still have a few of those coins left over, you can actually start to convert those bronze tokens directly into Time Warp badges as well. So it gives you yet another avenue of how to start to farm out this currency to prepare yourself before the patch 1107. The next few mounts I want to go over are going
This
to be
one's
some of the
badass.
big meta achievement mounts
Yeah.
that you can start working towards.
This is one of the most badass Tornado Boy mounts. We've seen a lot of variants of these. This is this blacked out one. Man, this is cool. It's for an achievement too.
Right now in order to have them basically available and unlocked, or mostly unlocked, by the time 1107 goes live. The first one of which being the War Within meta mount you get for completing the achievement of You Zal Not Pass, which is Shadow of Doubt. To complete this achievement, however, you will need to complete all of the minor achievements for each and every one of the zones of War Within. From State of the Union, which is being the main Khazalgar Dorn area, Rage Aside the Machine being within the Ringing Deeps, the Hollowfall achievements, the Ashkahead achievements, as well as all the Siren Isle achievements. And within those achievements, you'll need to complete a variety of different tasks, like all of the zone events, and
That's a lot
discover
of
all
shit.
of the treasures and secrets and all of the different encounters within those zones, and explore literally the entirety of Khaz-Algar region. Plus,
I don't know about you guys. I get overwhelmed from achievement chasing. I can't do it, man. It's too much. When I click an achievement, I see 16 other achievements within that achievement. I'm like, oh, this ain't going to get achieved. I can't do this.
all of the new Siren Isle achievements and
Starts to feel
completion
like
stuff,
work.
which is also going to be necessary and available once 1107 officially goes live. We recently did cover how to obtain this mount as well as the achievement on the channel, so I'll have a link to that guide video, as well as check out the Discord channel where we have an actual written out guide with all the useful links as to how you could complete certain parts of this achievement in order to be able to unlock for yourself You Zal Not Pass meta achievement for the War Within expansion. And while working on the War Within meta achievement, you will also need to complete objectives within Siren Isle to get the achievement of I'll Remember You. And when doing that, you'll also unlock the Breaker's Song mount as well. So it's
This is a
kind of
nice
like
one,
two
too.
mounts for one combo.
So how many times have we seen this boat now, right? The boat was on the store. It was on the trading post as an end of trading post reward. And then now it's here for this achievement. We got 3 variations of the boat mount now. Is that right? What was it the first time we saw it, like for the 3-month sub or something? I can't quite remember, but I know that maybe that was a 4th time. So maybe we have 4 variations of the boat, or that same one was twice, whatever. The boat's been around for a little while now.
Also find the link to how to unlock the Breaker Song with the I'll Remember You achievement linked in our description, but I'll say in that same
comment,
video we'll talk
Moishi.
about the meta achievement for the War Within mount. Another meta achievement mount that's going to be made available as of 1107 is Johnny's Trash
There it
Pile,
is,
the
Johnny's.
fan favorite Trash Raptor Loa from BFA.
The trashiest mount.
And to unlock this Trash Raptor, you'll need to complete the achievement called A Farewell to Arms, which is
Yeah, and by the way, this was a really difficult achievement for a lot of people. Blizzard recently nerfed it, so it's getting, not recently, it was nerfed on the PTR for 11.0.7, so when this patch actually drops, a lot of these achievements will be nerfed. For example, I think I was reading about, where is it? This one, not the squirrels, the undersea expedition leader, Black Empire State of Mind. I think in this one you had to kill like 1,000 of these little festering things. Now you only got to kill 100 after this. So that's like the kind of stuff that they did to basically nerf this achievement.
very similar to the War Within meta achievement, but this one is a much longer and much more of a grindier experience overall.
A little bit
though.
less grindy
With
now.
the Farewell to Arms, you'll have to complete each and every one of the zones of BFA, finish most of the side quests and unique objectives, and find most, if not all, of the collectibles for each and every one of its zones. You also will need to complete the entire storyline of the expansion of Battle for Azeroth, which means the base launch content, but also all the following patch content as well.
That's
which
kind
is
of a
quite
lot.
a lot of
Yeah,
different
that's a lot.
zones and storylines for you to grind through, plus finish out all of the zone achievements for some of the later zones added, with island zones such as the Najatar as well as the Mechagon. And after completing all of these, you'll be able to get a fan favorite Trash Raptor mount as a collectible for completing this entire achievement, which we actually did a guide video for recently, so I'll have that link down below as well. And also you can find our guide right up for this achievement mount as well in our Discord channel also.
Nice.
Next, I want to go over some of the Siren Isle mounts that you'll be able to fairly quickly obtain once 1107
Let's see 'em.
officially
Let's see 'em.
goes live. One of the easier mounts that you'll be able to get is Saweezy's Vintage Wave Shredder. As you explore the zone of the Siren Isle, you'll quickly find there's a vendor named So Easy on this isle, and the vendor sells a variety.
So wheezy. So here's our little first hints of goblins, right? Because 11.1's following this patch, so we're starting to see some goblin influence here, which I like.
Your different cosmetic items for your character to obtain, from various guns to summer attire, but also a variety of different pieces
in the
of
next, like,
gear
10 minutes.
with a variety of things to add to your collections. And one of those things is So Easy's Vintage Wave Shredder
This is cool.
that you'll be able to purchase purchase for 10,000 flame blessed irons, which sounds like a lot when it comes to the currency, but so far I've actually spent very minimum time over in the Siren Isle. I spent maybe about 20-30 minutes when it initially came out to PTR.
He already has
and I was
2,000.
just doing as many open world events to find out how things function on the Isle, and through 20 to 30 minutes worth of gameplay I collected about 2,000 of these flame blessed iron, and I've actually spent about 2,000 or so in order to be able to kickstart.
Not bad. Yeah, that's you're gonna get them pretty quick. This currency is gonna be used for everything too. I think upgrading your ring, we talked about some other stuff. So this is like a universal currency for this patch.
A bunch of different events on the Isle. So it does
Better
really
than, like,
seem like
getting
it'll
new
be
10
very
10
difficult
new
to collect
currencies.
enough flame blessed iron just for doing activities on the Isle, running around, slaying treasures, and participating in a variety of different group events. So this one might actually be one of the easy ones to obtain just for doing open world content in the zone. Another one of these mounts that you can obtain from the Siren Isle is a prismatic dragon. Now, when you first visit the Isle, you'll find yourself a hungry snapdragon runt that you'll need to visit and feed every single day until the snapdragon grows into a full-fledged mount. So this basically becomes a daily activity for you to do every time you visit the Isle, and every day you'll be able to come back to the snapdragon in order to feed it meat. Sometimes the dragon...
I mean, there's no real RNG related in this, but it does remind me of where was it? I think it was Warlords of Draenor. Which one was the green proto drake, where you get the proto drake egg and you had to get it every day and like hatch it, and your chance of getting the actual proto drake mount was like, you know, whatever percentage it was, and I kept doing it. I do have that mount. But that was BFA. Was it BFA? I don't know. No, it wasn't BFA. That's way before that. I want to say it was between Wrath. Maybe it could have been Wrath and could have been WAD. But I remember doing that every day, getting it. Yep, it was Wrath. Yeah, maybe it was Wrath. Actually, yeah, for sure it was. That's when the proto drakes were like first a thing, really.
Will require for you to defeat beasts around the island to feed it meat. Another time, Snapdragon will have its taste grow a little bit and ask for variety, like pirate meat, Vrykul meat, and even Naga meat. Eventually, the Snapdragon will want meat from rares and powerful creatures, as well as creatures found within the storm. So over time, the requirements for this mount will ramp up little by little. But once you get the mount, you should be able to also talk to a vendor next to the mount here, with Zexel Fingersnap being able to, or supposedly should be able to, sell you items in order to change the appearance of the Snapdragon. It's a little bit customizable mount, and you can see all the different variations of the Snapdragon. Depending on what you feed the Snapdragon, it'll actually change its whole color palette. Very similar to...
Wow, this whole thing just made this mount this much cooler. I actually didn't care that much about this mount, but now that you can actually customize it, that's kind of cool, picking the color.
One of the mounts that was available during Battle for Azeroth, the
albino one's kind of cool.
You've played that back in the day. So it'll be another unique customizable mount that you will have to work towards through a variety of daily activities. Now, one of the more unique mounts that you can obtain from the Siren Isle, you'll first will need to awaken it through a variety of kind of scavenger hunts. This is a very unique mount that was hinted at a while ago and data mined way back in the day, but only now do we get to see exactly what this mount is and how you'll be able to unlock it. This mount can be located in the Forgotten Vault way underground in the zone of the Siren Isle. And there in one of the main chambers, you'll find the corpse, or rather a deactivated version of the mount, because it's not quite dead, just more unconscious, with a variety of different runestones surrounding the mount. We have the Torrential Runestone, the Turbulent Runestone, Whirling Runestone, the Cyclonic, as well as the Thunderous Runestone. And to interact with every one of these runestones requires an active storm in order to be able to interact with it, but you also will require a key in order to access and activate each one of these runes.
It's like a puzzle.
So you'll need to run around all over the Siren Isle doing a variety of different objectives, primarily found within the storm. But
it's like one of those secret hunting quests, so you're going to have to do this probably in the stormed phase of the island and collect these things and go back and activate each of those
outside of the storm in order to get the keys to be able to obtain this mount. One of those keys drops from a specific rare that is available anytime in and out of the storm. Another one drops from a foe found within an active storm. Another can be found from a variety of different enemies from the storm specifically. Another can be found within some of the different digging grounds only within the storm, while another comes from treasures, and you'll be able to find fragments within treasures that combine together to create a key. So it's a big scavenger hunt all throughout the island to do all of these side objectives in order to be able to get the keys to obtain the mount. And I will likely put out a proper guide of how to obtain this mount once we get a lot closer to the patch 1107 release, but it is something that a lot of players will be doing day one, so might not be a bad idea to join pug groups in order to get this mount as soon as possible. Now, another event that's going to be made available in 1107 is Plunderstorm, which makes its big
These mounts look
return.
good.
An incredibly fun event that was available for a limited amount of time that allowed players to participate in this battle royale version of World of Warcraft. But
Man, remember when I almost did a complete Lucid Nightmare quest in one stream? And then I fucked it up at the very end, and then I had to get off. I had to go end the stream. I was this close to getting the Lucid Nightmare through the maze. I had my whole thing about going straight only, and then right only, and then the way to go back. I was very close. I'm going to do that again one day on stream. I just have not gone back around to it since the expansion came out. But I was close, man. I was like one orb away when I had to end the stream. I had to freaking go to work. Otherwise, I'd have that thing.
more importantly, to collect a variety of different cosmetics and rewards. And all of the Plunderstorm rewards plus new ones are making a return this time around. However, with the return of Plunderstorm, they will now have a plunder store where you'll be able to collect this plunder as a separate currency and then spend that currency however you like on the plunder store. So you'll be able to buy all of the best mounts and all of the best transmogs and all of the best collectibles you want immediately
from both seasons.
Out all the fluff in the process.
From
and
both
the event
seasons.
is going to be available shortly after the launch of 1107, somewhere between the 1107 and the launch of 11.1, which shouldn't really be all too long in the long term. Another mount that's going to be made available during 1107 is a timely Busby that you'll be able to earn through mastering the Turbulent Timeways event too. And the best way to describe Turbulent Timeways, it was basically like back-to-back time walking weeks, but that they were set in an overdrive. They were juiced up to an 11, where the rewards for the time walking weeks during Turbulent Timeways were upgraded massively, allowing players to get a lot of hero track gear easily to help them catch up and gear up before the next seasonal update, which was going to be 11.1. And you would be able to get a ton of gear just for stepping foot within time walking.
Mr. GM was saying that 11.1 will probably drop on the 24th because that's when all this stuff ends. Or what was this? He's looking at January. No, he's talking about February. So all this stuff will end in February.
Is going to be 11.
Ends February 25th. That's why Mr. GM thinks that when Plunderstorm ends and all the other stuff ends, that we will get the 11.1 patch on the 25th, which is a Tuesday.
And you would be able to get a ton of gear just for stepping foot within time walking dungeons and time walking raid content, which meant that gear is going to be the best and the easiest it can be with 1107.
Yeah, these things are good to grind.
Time walking events, you also will be able to get a buff during that time, and once you complete enough time walking dungeons, for instance, you'll be able to complete and finalize that buff. And to get the mount, you'll have to basically keep going back every week during Turbulent Timeways to update and refresh that buff, and when you do that after a couple of weeks, you
question, isn't time walking still, isn't there always the chance that you can get the what's it called, the freaking black and blue mount, right? You know which one I'm talking about? The Drake, what was his name? There's always a chance you can get him whenever you're doing time walking content, right? Yes, yeah, I don't know why people still don't talk. That mount's freaking badass. That is one of the coolest looking mounts in the game. It's an infinite timeways dragon, infinite flight looking dragon, right? It's got the blue, lightning in it. The Time Weaver, yes, the infinite Time Weaver. Yeah, that's a great mount. I still want to get that thing.
You'll be able to unlock the mount.
And you can just randomly drop at any point.
The Turbulent Time
I got it and love it. Yeah, I'd ride it all the time if I got it.
It's a fantastic time for you to level fresh new characters. Right now in 1105, it is really easy to level up brand new alts with the 20th anniversary update, but Turbulent Timeways will also provide us a significant upgrade to overall experience gains, which means leveling a new character between now and 11.1 is going to be ridiculously easy, which is good news for any of you making a return for the next seasonal update. Besides this, however, we also do have two new holiday mounts arriving in 1107. One of those holiday mounts is going to be the Lunar Launcher. The Lunar Launcher is a very unique looking mount. It is basically a festival rocket firework that's rideable, and it's going to be part of the Lunar Festival refresher for the patch 1107. As far as we know, which is not a lot of info regarding this mount, all we know is that it'll come from the
is a freaking cool looking mount. I'm not gonna lie, it's a goblin rocket with a dragon-esque head on. That's a cool mount.
Vendor during the Lunar Festival event, which can only leave us with a few guesses as to how you'll be able to earn it. During the Lunar Festival, players will be able to obtain coins of ancestry by honoring elders found throughout most major cities throughout Azeroth. This includes all of the original zones, but also all the new expansion zones that have been added over time. And you'll be able to unlock and earn these coins and then trade them at the Lunar Festival vendor. Right now you can do that for a variety of different cosmetic goodies, but it looks like you also will be able to potentially do the same to get the mount, unless that changes. And we'll know exactly how to unlock this mount once the actual Lunar Festival event is live for the 1107, but right now it is assumed that it's going to be something you'll be able to purchase from a vendor, which shouldn't be all that difficult to do.
Nice.
Now, another holiday mount that's going to be made available is the Love Witch's Sweeper mount, which is a mount that right now, based on data mining, is related to the Love is in the Air holiday event available during the month of February. And based on data mining, it does look like this mount will be a drop from the Love is in the Air dungeon that's available during that event. Specifically, it'll drop from Apothecary Hummel. So based on the data mining, it does seem like, and there's no easy way to put this, it looks like it's another one of Heartbreaker mount reward farms that you're going to have to do during the holiday refresher.
Those are always
and this
fun.
mount is already a fairly rare.
I'm not a big fan of the hot pink crotch rocket, but I know a lot of people are and they want to get it, and it's become much more doable. It used to be very hard to get.
Mount to obtain. Many players try for it every single year without an opportunity to finally be able to get one of their own, and it looks like they're adding yet another mount that could drop from that event. But hope.
Yeah, it used to be the crotch rocket was a very rare. I think they made it a little bit less rare, but still, you know, not everyone has it.
Hopefully this time around, the drop rates for the Love Witch's Sweeper mount will be a lot better than the Heartbreaker mount grind that everybody has to go through every single year.
Yeah.
So hopefully Blizzard is listening to me when I say this, but hopefully the mount drop this time around will be a little bit more generous. But with that, that's going to be literally the entire list of every single new mount coming out in 1107 and how to get them. As always, I want to thank all of you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did enjoy this update or found it informative, go ahead and give this video a like. I would very much appreciate it. Join our Discord community if you want to get any of the guides as to how to get especially some of the more rare mounts as part of this mount collection for 1107. Also, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and as always, I'll see all of you guys in the next one.
No, nice video, nice little summary there of all the mounts coming. You know, it's mounts are a big thing. I love mounts. It's one of the reasons why I play some of the things that I do in the game is to get some of the mounts. Invincible will never be mine. You know, the same with the what was I saying, the Infinite Time Weaver. Never gotten it. Still hoping to get them one day. But some of these mounts look really cool. I really thought, what was it called? The Mogu one was pretty badass. Some of the other ones, definitely go get them. And some of these things you could start grinding today. Get your Time Warp badges and other things. Some of these achievements are gettable today. You could start grinding those out to get some of those achievement mounts, like the Black Tornado Boy. Cool stuff. Nice little summary here from Dalaran.